The station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Well, tonight on your news at 6, extreme weather across the DMV. Rain and wind creating a nightmare for evening commuters. Well, we'll look at some of the storm damage and what you can expect for the rest of the evening.
That's somebody's family member. You wouldn't want that done to your family, so why would you do it to somebody else's?
And another shooting in Northeast D.C. leaves one person dead this afternoon. My neighbors tell our Dave Laval they fear they could be next.
And a stolen ambulance creates chaos in Virginia over the weekend. Closer look at the damage done and the charges against the man police say was behind the wheel. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us for DC News Now at 6 o'clock. I'm Chris Flanagan.
Great to be with you. I'm Tasmin Mahfouz, and we've been following severe weather all across the DMV this evening. Several tornado warnings popping up as our newscast started just after 4. Take a look at this video. This is Gibbon Street in Old Town Alexandria. You can see how heavy that rain and wind was. A similar scene for much of the DMV.
In National Harbor, another video, that powerful wind and all that rain. Look at here. There were dark clouds over the harbor as that storm moved in, dumping really torrential rain as it moved through.
And we've been bringing you live team coverage of the storms for the past couple of hours now.
Yeah, let's check in now. Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb. The storm's really impacting the commute home, Janessa.
Yeah, and I hate the timing of these storms. We had multiple tornado warnings going off across areas of the DMV. Happened very, very quickly. Wind damage along with that torrential rain that we saw in that video. And so it spread off really a lot of miles from Prince William to Fairfax into the metro area and now into Prince George's County. Folks, what you are seeing is kind of that time lapse of everything that unfolded with a tornado warning out towards Charles County and then made its way into Fairfax County. Let's show you the current situation. At this point, things are dying down. So I'm happy to say that it's in Baltimore County at this point that the last band of moisture that is really impacting sections of the DMV. What is the leftover situation? This darker green. You have a flash flood watch that has been in place since earlier this morning. That's going to stay in place just because out of precaution at this point, you still have some leftover moisture, and that'll stay across most areas of the DMV until 2 a.m. tonight. With all the moisture that has fallen in a very short period of time, what you are dealing with is pockets of torrential rain that produce 2 to nearly 3 inches of rain, folks, in about a half an hour. That's remarkable, but unfortunately, you have major roadways that are flooded at this time. So I'm about to read off all the flash flood warnings that are currently in place. Prince George's County, you are up first. That's until 8 o'clock. At this point, we need our drainage to kind of go down. So you have flooded streets, and so it's trying to take in a whole bunch of moisture. For the district as well, that's going to stay in place for your area. Fairfax County into Arlington, Alexandria, down to Prince William, across a major corridor of I-95 is under those flash flood warnings. And right now we're just dealing with leftover moisture from these storms. It's on the light to scattered side. Yes, folks, we have dealt with the heaviest amount of rain and severe weather for the rest of the night. And now we're just going to continue to pick up the pieces. I have more in my extended forecast coming up.
All right, as Jess and the weather team's been showing us all afternoon, areas across the DMV dealing with flooding from that rain.
Yeah, so we're learning about several intersections in the district that are completely underwater right now. That rain earlier making for a dangerous evening ahead.
Yeah, very much so. Let's check in now with our Dave Laval. He's in Northeast on Mont Olivet Road. And Dave, we know there were several vehicles at one point stuck in the water there.
Well, good evening, Chris and Tasmin, and yes, that's correct. There were several cars stuck in the water here at Mount Olivet and Capitol Avenue, but as you can see, the traffic is flowing. Bad choice of words on a rainy day like this. Traffic is moving again through this area, as you could almost call it like a flash flood, because as quickly as the flood waters came in, they're now gone. But let's go ahead and pan over to the left. You'll see a Buick and a Kia parked over there. Those are 2 of the 3 cars that were trapped by the floodwaters. Everyone managed to get out. However, one of the owners of one of the cars, we're told, actually left her handbag there. Police are still out here waiting for the owner to come back and gather her personal property. A third truck we want to mention to you is just a few feet away from where we're standing, a postal truck. And we got a chance to take a look inside of it, and can tell you it is definitely wet in there. Was there any mail in there at the time? We don't know. There's no postal employees here, but police are on the scene. And you talked about other areas that have seen some flooding. We have also heard Rhode Avenue Northeast, the 600 block. Want to bring up the latest information that we have for you on that. That's according to DC Fire and EMS, the 600 block of Rhode Island Avenue Northeast. And in that area, the flooding took place. Let's get this right. We are told it's near the, it's not too far from the post office. It's actually closer to the AutoZone store there. No, this was just a few minutes ago from DC Fire EMS that they did have water rescues up there. The main message for people tonight with all this rain that has fallen, DC EMS Fire's best advice is turn around and don't drown if you approach standing water on the road. We're live in Northeast. Dave Laval, DC News Now.
Yeah, Dave, thanks. And that rescue in Rhode Island Ave to doggy daycare, our Daniel Hamburg is en route right there. Right now, we'll have a live report from Daniel as soon as he gets there. Meanwhile, at least 2 homicides have now been reported in Northeast DC since Saturday.
And those in the area say more needs to be done to change the current trend. So this latest shooting happened along 10th Street Northeast, right near 8th Street corridor.
Yeah, and this is actually the 16th homicide in the district this month. Our Dave Laval covered this story earlier today and has the latest.
Behind me is where DC's latest round of gun violence took place. Most neighbors we spoke to did not want to go on camera. They're angry, they're upset, and they want a stop to all this violence.
DC's getting pretty dangerous, that's for sure.
Christopher Arevalo works in the 8th Street corridor. He came across DC's latest homicide victim Tuesday while on lunch. An unidentified man shot to death on a sidewalk along 10th Street Northeast. Arevalo is worried he could be next.
Bullets don't have no names. You end up getting struck with one, that's it, you know.
Police told us they received the call just before 11:30. Neighbors we spoke to who did not want to go on camera said they heard 2 gunshots and saw a man run away from the scene.
That's somebody's family member. You wouldn't want that done in your family, so why would you do it to somebody else's?
Marcus Boston also works in the area. The district has now seen a 25% increase in the number of homicides this year compared to the same time a year ago. That's according to DC Police. Councilman Trayon White has called for the National Guard be brought in to help reduce the violence. Boston supports that.
There's nobody scaring them. Think about it like this. If you know, if your father or your mother puts fear in your heart, or somebody above you puts fear in your heart, you might not do certain things. Police have not said if they're still looking for the gunman. In Northeast, Dave Laval, DC News Now.
And Dave pulling double duty tonight. Also new tonight, Mayor Bowser was asked today about Councilmember Trayon White's proposal to call on the National Guard to reduce crime in the city, and this was her response.
I'm happy to have a conversation with Councilmember White. I, of course, share his concern about safety in neighborhoods in Ward 8 and throughout the district, and how we best deploy our resources to keep communities safe.
So far this year, there have been at least 163 homicides. That's a 25% increase compared to this time last year.
Yeah, DC police also reporting 67 people younger than 18 have been shot in the district so far this year. It's 25 more compared to this time a year ago. Now, to combat this, one nonprofit hosted a youth violence summit in Southeast yesterday. The goal, to guide young children towards positive influences. Play for Life discussed solutions for youth crime at the Arc on Mississippi Avenue. Officials say many young children can turn to violence because they have nowhere else to turn. They also say kids fall into violent patterns when they do not know where to look for help.
They need platforms. They want to say, let's use apps and things like that to get positive things out about what they're doing and what they can do or the things they need.
We're here to just make sure that you got a place, a space that you can come to for resources, information, help, just simple conversation at times.
Play for Life says they're planning more youth violence summits through the end of this year.
And developing now, the man who led police on a chase in a stolen ambulance has now been charged. Now, during the chase, investigators say a 30-year-old man hit at least 13 cars with that stolen Arlington County Fire Department ambulance. DC News Now's Tosin Fakile is in Arlington with more on the chaos.
Virginia State Police tell DC News Now that they charged 30-year-old Daryl Caldwell with 16 felony counts of hit and run. And what makes the story even more interesting is police initially responded to a crash on that Saturday, a crash that they say Caldwell caused in a stolen car. And police say he fled the scene after that crash. A little while after, authorities say Caldwell stole an Arlington County Fire Department ambulance responding to a scene of a crash on the George Washington Parkway. That's when that chase began. During the chase, police say Caldwell hit several cars with the stolen ambulance in his attempt to escape. Caldwell was taken into custody after that chase entered into D.C. One woman talks to DC News Now about the moment she says her car, while she was in it, was allegedly hit by that stolen ambulance.
He pushes me out of the way when he rear ends me, and it's a one-way lane, so there's nowhere I can go. Absolutely nowhere I can go. So he pushes me almost into oncoming traffic, and I then see him go past me after he pushes me out of the way.
That woman also told DC News Now that moment felt like a video game or a movie. She says she wasn't hurt, and police say there were no serious injuries during any of those crashes. Now, once again, Virginia State Police telling us that 30-year-old man has been charged with 16 felony counts of hit and run and 1 felony count of eluding police. The story still developing. Police working to identify the owners of the vehicles that were hit. Stay with DC News Now. We'll bring you the latest as we learn it. In Arlington, I'm Tosin Fakile for DC News Now. Back to you.
All right, meanwhile, in Prince George's County, police have now released the name of the man killed in a shooting in Forestville early Sunday morning. They say 37-year-old Tyrone Thomas of District Heights and 2 other men were shot shortly after 1:30 on Donnell Drive. All 3 were rushed to a hospital. Thomas later died from his injuries. If you have any information, you're asked to call Prince George's County Police. Well, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser is reminding high school seniors in the district to apply for financial aid programs. But you better hurry up. Time is running out. The city is providing $50 million in tuition support and scholarships to soon-to-be college students. The goal, to help families in the district save thousands of dollars for their child's education. Bowser highlighted the programs this morning at KIPP D.C. Promise Academy.
Continue showing up at school, following positive adults, and learning as much as they can every single day. Adults need to make sure that the kids can focus on their job, and their job is to learn and to show up ready to learn.
Tag students can receive up to $10,000 towards tuition at public colleges each year. Families, though, only have until Friday to apply for assistance.
And a new report from the Maryland State Health Department found 30,000 pregnant women or women with children suffer from a substance use disorder. So as a way to help prevent drug dependency, the state is now providing funding for family support coaches. The coaches are there to help the new moms and soon-to-be moms embrace sobriety. Now, 4 counties and the city of Baltimore will receive funds for the program. Washington County, Maryland is one of them. And we talked to David Olson, who heads a family health care nonprofit there, who says the program is absolutely necessary.
Especially in this program. I mean, we're talking about mothers, expectant mothers. Nothing is more important than taking care of your child and yourself.